Hi, this is Steve Cordy for More EV. I'm going to be talking through a hand I've played using the software program Poker Snowy. So it gets folded to us on the cutoff. We have Ace King offsuit. So what would you do here? So folding is obviously incorrect given we've got such a strong hand. The options are calling, which would be limping in, or raising. So my advice pre-flop is basically never limp in. Always, if you're opening your hand, always go in for a raise. So raising is best. In terms of raise size, it's best just to have a standard raise size, and don't vary that according to the strength of your hand. So somewhere between 2 and 3 big blinds would be normal. So I opened a 2.5 and Poker Snowy agrees that this is correct. So the button 3-bets us to 7 and the blinds fold. So what would you do here? So we can fold or call or raise. So folding is not going to be good with such a strong hand. Our opponent's 3-betting range obviously contains value hands, some of which are better than ours, but it also contains a lot of weaker hands, some of which would be for value, like Ace Queen, and it also contains a lot of bluffs. So we definitely can't fold. Calling is going to be fine some percentage of the time. It's quite a deceptive way to play our hand. We keep all the weaker aces and kings that we dominate in our opponent's range, which might otherwise fold if we were to 4-bet, like Ace 10. And also the types of boards that our opponent's going to be bluffing are the types of boards that hit our hand, like aces and kings. Problem is, with that, we're playing the rest of the hand out of position. So I'd be calling here sometimes, but I'd be calling with a slightly higher percentage if I was in position. So I think raising is best, and in terms of my raise size, I'm going to make it the same size as I would if I was 4-bet bluffing here with something like Ace 5 against the right type of opponent, and that's going to be to about $18. And in doing that, I keep my range balanced, and players who know that I can 4-bet bluff are going to be 5-betting with with weaker hands than this. So I 4-bet to 18 and Poker Snowy agrees this is correct, and is suggesting we do call some of the time as well. So our opponent calls the 4-bet, which is a little bit unusual. People tend to decide whether they're folding or getting it all in at this point, but if they're going to be calling, then they're more likely to do it in position. So in terms of his range, occasionally he's going to have something that he's just calling because he's got position like 7-8 suited, but most of the time it's some sort of middling hand that he doesn't want to get all in at this point. So we get what at first glance looks like a good flop. We have top pair, top kicker. But when we look at our opponent's calling range and how it connects with this board, this pre-flop calling range, the picture changes a little. So what would your action be here between checking and betting, let's say half pot? Let's look at betting half pot first. If we look at what type of hands our opponent's going to call with that we beat, I don't think there's very many. He's not going to call a $20 bet with only $80, what will be $60 left behind. He's not going to call that bet, I believe, with Ace Queen or Ace Jack, those type of hands. I don't think he's even going to call with pocket 10s with his open-ended straight draw. And I don't think he's calling with pocket 8s, those type of things. So there's not many hands that we're beating him with that he's going to call. So for that reason, I tend to believe a check is best. We also need to just verify that we don't think we're going to get bluffed off our hand, and like if he's got something with no equity like 7-8, because this board nails our 4-betting range so much, I don't think he's going to even attempt a bluff with that type of hand. He's just going to check it back. And with made hands like pocket 8s or ace queen, I don't think he's going to be turning those into a bluff either and betting with them. So we don't really need to worry about getting bluffed off the best hand or folding to a better hand, to fold into a weaker hand if we check. So what does Poker Snowy think? He agrees checking is best. He's giving betting some merit as well. He's saying checking is fine. Our opponent bets half pot, and so when deciding whether to check, we felt that our opponent would not be betting worse hands, even though we checked him. So naturally then we think that when he bets he's got something stronger than us. There's a lot of stronger hands he could have, straight, sets, 2-pair, pocket aces. I think the best case scenario for us here, if we're considering calling, would be that he's got ace king. So what would you do here? Fold or call? I think folding's best for the reasons I've already given, and Poker Snowy agrees. So this is quite a strange hand. Feels gross to fold top pair, top kicker, especially when we check to our opponent on a flop. This is an example of truly assessing your hand strength and not overvaluing your absolute hand strength. So our absolute hand strength is top pair, top kicker, but when we look at our relative hand strength and compared to our opponent's range of hands, it's not very strong. So I think check folding is best here. So that's it for this short lesson. Please look out for the next one. Thanks.